Sure, given the behavior of this president doesn't seem to understand that there are people who don't live in the same level of life that he lives in. He lives in the suites. There are some people who live in the streets, and we have to concern ourselves with them as well. And with reference to that march, may I just share this piece of information? Frank M. Johnson was a federal judge who issued the order to part the way, to cause those officers to leave the Edmund Pettus Bridge and to allow them to march on. I mention him because his place in history has not been acknowledged. He was a white Southerner who was a George Wallace contemporary, but he had the guts. He had the guts and the courage to take a stand that caused him to have security 24 hours a day. They bombed his mom's home. We have to have that kind of courage now. We've got to take a stand against what this president is doing with his incivility. We're going to have to demonstrate. We're going to have to protest. I don't want us to have to harken back to the 60s, but we are being treated as though we are in the 60s. We have to do more than simply say that we want legislation. We've got to demonstrate, and we've got to protest and be prepared to suffer the consequences.
Congressmember Green, in 2017, you became the first Congressmember to call for President Trump's impeachment from the floor of the House of Representatives. You're doing this again?
I am, and I am currently nearing the end of the first draft. I believe that he has done things that would merit impeachment. For edification purposes, if we wanted to impeach a president for speaking ill of Congress, as the president did, we can do it. How do I know? Because in 1868, Andrew Johnson was impeached for speaking ill of the House of Representatives. Impeachment is not all that the scholars would have us believe it is. It is what Gerald Ford said when he was in the House. Whatever a given Congress concludes that it is on a given time, at a given time, when you can get 218 members, assuming that you have a full complement of members voting, to vote for it, then that's impeachment. It really is that simple. It's been done to presidents before, and of course we know about Clinton and we know about others, but the point that we have to make is Nixon. Impeachment is a remedy for a runaway president who believes that there are no guardrails, who believes that the Supreme Court has placed him above the law, and who is now very close to a point where he will not honor court orders. When he does that, Ms. Goodman, he at that point will become a dictator. We are this close. When he goes